How's it going, everyone? My name is DrapPep. Welcome back to another installment of this series. I want to talk about comments that I get on my videos. A lot of the times, there's comments that show up in my videos and I don't respond to them or I don't interact with them. And it's not because I'm one of those content creators that does not enjoy reading comments. I do. I love reading comments. A lot of these comments, they kind of slip through the cracks. My account does not give me good notifications when there's comments that come in, and so a lot of them they slip through the cracks. And the amount of guilt that I feel for not seeing everyone's comments is unreal. I feel so bad when I see a comment that I missed, and I try to respond as best I can. A lot of times I apologize depending on how long it's been since that comment was posted. Some of them are a couple of days, some of them are a couple of months. And I always feel real bad for not seeing it. You see, I'm not somebody that gets a lot of comments. So day after day when I don't get any, I kind of get into this rhythm of not checking. And it's usually when I stop checking, that's when they come in. And I'm like, dang it. I missed these. It's not just for YouTube. I post these videos also on TikTok and Facebook and another app called Clapper. I like to experiment with different apps to see which ones I like and which ones I don't like. And because of that, I get a lot of notifications from several different platforms. And I fall behind. Really behind. It's also not just these comments, by the way. I fall behind on text messages. I fall behind on messages on Discord, and I'll fall behind on emails. I'm keeping up with what people are trying to say to me is a weakness of mine. It's so easy for me to just sort of forget to check for a really long time. And that's something I kind of struggle with, is keeping up on top of that. I try to set a time aside to check all these things, and even still I'll miss some things. YouTube has a feature where you can check your community and you can see the comments from that community. And I try to use that a lot so I can catch up to everyone's comments, and I'll reply. But the thing is that not all of my replies go through, or they sometimes take a while to go through. But even still, some comments slip through the cracks. Sometimes YouTube goes, oh, well, this comment was inappropriate, so we hid it from you. And it was just an emoji, right? But YouTube is just like, oh, well, that could be offensive, so we're going to hide it. And I would never see that comment unless I manually look for it. And this happens a lot. A lot more often than I would like, honestly. For it to happen at all is something I don't like, because I want to stay connected with everybody. I enjoy reading people's comments, even the ones that are not necessarily good, the ones that are negative towards me. You know what I mean? The ones where they're like, you're not funny, you're not good. I still read them. They took the time to say the terrible thing to me. I'm going to take the time to read the terrible thing to me. A lot of times when I'll see a comment that was negative, I take it with a grain of salt, where I sort of see what was said to me and I take it, instead of them trying to hurt my feelings, I take it as critique. It's something I had learned in college, because I took filming classes in college. And one of the things we had to do was, when we finished a project, we had to put it up on the big screen. Everyone had to watch it. And then everyone had to tear it down. Everyone got a turn to rip your project apart, to truly, truly humule, no, to tear you down. I have a hard time with words. But yeah, you had to stand there, and the lesson was to take it. You had to take that criticism. And the whole exercise was, while they're uh, tearing you down, you had to stand there and you had to say thank you for your input. Okay. And then you also had to learn how to turn it into something that you can use, such as if someone said, yeah, by the way, that scene was not funny at all, I think it was never meant to be there, and honestly, I don't think you should be working with that. Instead, you're supposed to say, all right, thank you for your input. Do you have any recommendations on what I can do differently? And that's kind of like the exercise that you had to do. And it was soul crushing. That exercise sucked. But like, I did several years of film classes. I did Introduction to Digital Media. I did Film Production 1 and 2. I've done project management and production management. I've taken so many. And I plan on going back to school to pick up newer classes that have come out that the college has that I want. I want to take them. But I've done a lot of these classes to where I had to learn how to, deal with it. So because of that, whenever I get negative comments, I'm sort of trained. I'm sort of a professional when it comes to taking critique. And what I'll do is I will listen to, not really listen, but read the negative comment. And instead of taking it personally, I just kind of see if there was any insight to it. I try to see if what they had said was good enough to where I can apply it to my content. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Sometimes people are just, you're not funny. There's not much I can do about that. But there's other times when people say, hey, by the way, the audio is really bad. All right, well, I'll go see if I can fix that. Hey, just so you know, you're not talking enough in your videos. All right, I'll see what I can do to fix that. And over time, instead of seeing these comments as something negative, I see them as critiques, something I can use to better my content to reach out to a more wider audience. But that involves me reading comments, which I am very bad at. Of course, I could sit here and be like, I'm going to start reading all the comments, I promise. That's a promise I will not be able to keep. That is not a promise I'll be able to keep, because I'm going to continue to fall behind. But if you do leave comments and you see that I don't reach out, don't give up. Keep making comments. Go to all my videos, make lots of comments. I will eventually see them. I promise I will eventually see your comments. And I'm not trying to encourage saying the same thing over and over again, because YouTube hides those ones. What I'm saying is, if you want to be a part of this community, you want me to notice you, you want me to interact with you, keep at it. I promise I try my hardest. I try to do my very hardest to keep in contact with a lot of people who leave comments, because that's one of my favorite things, is to reach out to the community that I'm trying to build here. And if what you're hearing, if you're hearing this and you're going, hey, this guy sounds kind of cool, I want to be part of his community, or hey, this guy seems like he's easy to make fun of. Eventually I'll see them. Eventually I will. You just gotta keep at it. And if I get back to you and it's months and months later, just know I am super sorry. Okay, I'm so sorry. I was trying to do my best and I found your comment 5 months later, 6 months later, and I am so sorry. I'm not good at reading comments. I'm not good at keeping up. I'm not good at keeping tabs with people, or keeping in touch with people, or any of that. I do my best. I really am trying to do my best at this. And I know that this is kind of like part of the job. If I wanted to make a career out of making content, keeping up with comments is kind of part of it. And I feel so guilty when I fall behind like I do. But I'm not going to sit here and make promises that I'll read every comment, because that's a promise I'm going to break. I can't make that kind of promise. But the promise I can make is I'm going to do my best. That's all I can give. I promise to do my best, because that's all I'm currently doing. I'm currently trying to do my best. That's going to be it for this episode. Thanks to everyone who joined. That is an awful ending. Thanks to everyone who joined. I don't know how to end these properly. I keep changing it because I'd be like, thank you for listening. But like, what if the people are watching the video? Oh, well, thanks anyways. But thank you everyone for joining.